Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the Political Machine 2016 or 2016, whichever way you prefer to say it. My name, of course, is Open Potato, and today we are going to be having a look at sort of what this game is, what it's all about, and delving into some of the gameplay. Fingers crossed. Well, of course, we're going to delve into some of the gameplay. Like, that's why you're here. Anyway, yeah, my name's Open Potato. The Political Machine is basically a simulation game of the American presidential race from about now until 2016 when the election actually happens. So without further ado, let us go and jump in. So something I love about this game is that it has a fair amount of replayability, right? We can basically adjust the length of the game should we choose to do so. Obviously, we're not going to go for anything super long. We're just going to go for something fairly short. Starting funds also can be adjusted. And say we want to be poor for some reason, we can totally do that. You want to do that. Also, state population, state wealth, state demographics, and issue importance can all be randomized. At the moment, it's not. It's just the same. But if you want to replay it with different state populations, say you want Rhode Island to have like, I don't know, a random chance of getting like a 10 billion or 300 billion population, and the rest of the states getting, I don't know, 500,000 or whatever. Less than that probably when I think about it. I'm not exactly sure what the population of the United States is. 360 million maybe? Anyway, whatever. Babbled enough. Let's go and get into the game. So we have got the options to select a whole bunch of people that are actually in the real presidential race, and also some people that are not, for example, like Bill Clinton and whatnot. But should we want to do that? We absolutely can. So it's important to note that all of the characters, all of them, have different stats. So stamina, that is basically how much you're allowed to do per turn. That's actions. Money, that's fairly obvious. You have initial funds. Fundraising ability, how much money you can raise and how good you're doing at speeches. And there's a whole bunch of stuff. Mouse over it and it'll tell you exactly where it helps you. But every single little thing helps you in a different region of the game, so to speak. So should we want to, we can sort by party. Obviously in America you've got a two-party system, which is absurd, let's face it, but you know what, we're not here to discuss American politics. Yeah, we're not here to discuss American politics. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it. Or you know what? Say we want to create our own dude, which I think is totally cool. Let's create our own dude, because you know what? Oh, I like the typing as well. Oh, that's very nice. Oh, you hear that? You hear that? Oh yeah, it feels like I'm tipping away on a keyboard, which I actually am. Yeah, Democrat or Republican. Wow, what a choice. Home state. I am going to take an Electoral College state that has got a lot of votes. So we're going to talk a little bit about the American voting system. I want to take Florida if I can. Yeah, we're going to take Florida. We're going to be as Democrat. It doesn't really matter that much, to be honest. We'll be male, and we'll talk about this point system in a little bit. In fact, no, let's talk about it now. We'll talk about the Electoral College a little bit further on. So, what do we want to do? Do I want to upgrade money? No, I sort of want stamina. I'm going to put 2 points into stamina because I really feel that stamina is very important. It allows us to do more actions per day, and you'll see that as soon as we get into the game. Fundraising, I'm also going to put 1 point into, because why not? The ability to raise money, that's kind of nice. In fact, you know what? Let's take some points out of fundraising and put them into money, so that we get a higher amount of money at the start of the game. Okay, maybe something like that. Charisma is speeches and ads. So I think we're probably going to use speeches as our main method. So if we can, we can seriously bump up speeches and make them pretty freaking awesome, then that's great. Interview appearances. I'm not that bothered about interview appearances. Let's go for a 3 on interview appearances and save some points. Credibility, as you can see, credibility increases the effectiveness of your negative ads. I don't really want to run negative ads. Maybe that's just me being a softie, but I don't really want to run negative ads. I feel that we can perform higher on our merits, and experience, easier to win endorsements. by decreasing their political capital cost. Okay, you know what? We'll put 3 points in here. 3 points. It's fairly safe, I think. Intelligence. Responses able during an interview. Yeah, you know what? We'll put 3 points into here as well. Why not? Media bias determines how much the press like your candidate. We'll put 1 point in there. I think that's kind of alright. Religious appeal. We'll take 1 point out of there and put 2 into minority appeal, I guess. And I think that is going to be us pretty much sorted. How do I stand on these issues? Well, I guess we just don't know until we try. Black Lives Matter. So, yeah, straight into the controversy. We are absolutely going to be having to choose from a whole bunch of stuff here. Are we going to go super, super hard on one issue? So, let's roleplay for a second. Also, did I put a space there? I didn't mean to put a space there. There we go. Yeah, let's roleplay for a second. We're a Democratic candidate. We're from Florida. What issues would actually matter to somebody in Florida? Probably not coal mining. Common Core. Speaking about real life politics for a second, which is probably not why you came here. But Jeb Bush, who is the governor in Florida, is actually fairly passionate about his education. So let's roleplay and let's say, hey, we're super fucking passionate about. There we go. I greatly favor. Addressing climate change, I slightly favor. Yes. Big government. I have no formal stance on big government. I think that's a really difficult issue for the Democratic Party, but I need to stop slipping into real politics. Whatever. The Confederate flag. I'm tempted to go, since I'm role playing, to go for the -1 over there. The deficit reduction, I am going to be for. I'm going to be 20 points in. I moderately favor. There we go. 21 points in. I moderately favor. Drone warfare. I'm going to be against drone warfare. I slightly oppose drone warfare, I think. Drought assistance. I slightly favor it, I guess. Ending human trafficking. I slightly favor. Well, I suppose I favor that a lot, but... Well, who can not really favor the stopping of human trafficking? The EU crisis, I don't think we'll answer that. Fighting ISIS, yeah, you know what? Let's stick some points in there. And who gives a shit about the rest of this stuff? Like, yeah, whatever. We wasted our points, but it doesn't really matter. We'll rush through it anyway. We just got an achievement. I got an achievement saying made for greatness. Orbital Potato was definitely made for greatness. Now, who are we going to be running against? Well, we could select somebody new, but he doesn't have a portrait. That's weird. This is an early access game. That's also important to note. We're going to be up against Ted Cruz because he's at the bottom of the list, and why not? Why not? Okay, so win the states, win the election. So let's talk about the Electoral College. Okay, so basically, the Electoral College is a system that America uses to vote for its politicians. Right? So we can drag and go around the map by holding the left mouse button, and we can select our dude and fly him to different states, and I'll talk a little bit about that. But a little bit of a ground rule. Okay, so depending on the population, okay, in fact, no, scrap that. It does depend on the population size of the Electoral College, but basically every single state, irregardless of population, right, gets 3 Electoral College votes. The remaining Electoral College votes are split between the states by a ratio of population. So we see states like Texas getting 38 votes, California getting 55, and my native Florida's got 29. So that's a fairly good start, right? There's also a bunch of important states up here: Ohio, Pennsylvania, Maryland. Stuff like that that have large populations tend to be the most important, right? So if we go to electoral votes here, we can see which states have the most. I forgot to mention New York. But yeah, basically the pinker the state, the more Electoral College votes. Fairly simple. This is the normal map. This is the awareness map, so who the hell knows who I am? Well, obviously only people in my home state. And then Electoral College, as I've talked about. State wealth. Basically, where is it easiest to fundraise? We're not super good in our fundraising, so... that's not great. And this is the sort of strategy planning, so this is something that you probably want to focus on. Where are we going to have to win to do well, right? Like, where should we try and aim for? And this is just a rough outline of places you could aim for. Alternatively, you could try and take over Texas. You really could. It would be difficult, but hey-ho. So each state has got different values for the amount of Democratic and the amount of Republican support that it has. So, for example, in Texas, we see 33% of the population would vote Democrat, 12% are undecided, and 55% would vote for Ted Cruz, who is the Republican. So he's boosted by the fact that he's got his campaign HQ, right? His election headquarters, right? He's got that in Texas, and that gives him a certain amount of money per week, and it gives him the top 10 issues that are available. So that's kind of cool. Everybody has an amount of starting cash. We have 3.5 million. We can get more should we choose to do so at fundraising events. And we also have a large amount of stamina. Right, so where do we want to go? Where do we want to go? As you can see, the states that are indicated in blue are the states that we have the largest majority in, right? All of the gray states, they're swing states, right? So we have the potential to win, we have the potential to lose. Let's start close to home. We're obviously not going to win these two states at all. So let's try and get some early leads. So where are you? Arkansas. Okay, let's go to Arkansas and let's try and do some stuff in Arkansas. So basically, you play in turns, right? So we have as many actions that we want in a turn we can do. Right? That's just how we roll. Okay, so it tells you the state wealth, it tells you the awareness of your candidate, and it tells you how many Electoral College votes that you have. Probably not the wisest thing coming to a low Electoral College number state, but, whatever, that's fine. So we've got a couple of actions that we can actually do in the state. We've got the create ads, right? This just tells you a little bit about it, so it shows the candidates where you stand on issues, it raises your awareness, but it loses you cash because you have to pay for them. Crazy, right? And this is the interface that you go about describing, designing ads in. I don't know what I'm saying today. It's the strangest thing in the world. But yeah, this is in Arkansas, what we can do. So we can go for the ground game. So this is like leaflets and flyers and stuff that are delivered through people's doors. And we've also got on TV. I don't know where that TV is from, but it's not from this century. That is really, really a very, very weird television. Very weird television. Anyway, we can sort of talk about issues that we are in favor of or not in favor of. Deficit reduction. I think deficit reduction is something that I'm sort of liking. I'm also sort of liking Common Core. Let's put out a ground ad saying I favor the Common Core. Also, it's important to note that weekly expenses, they vary from media outlet to media outlet. So let's just, start it off nice and cheap. It's only going to cost us 3 stamina, which is basically the amount of action points that we have per turn to use. And yeah, we'll go for the Common Core. Okay, great. We've got an ad set up, and when we click next turn, it's going to show if that's made any difference. But you know what? We're not going to just stop here. We are going to head to other states. So Louisiana, 8 Electoral College votes, right? We've got the ability to do something called a speech here, right? So this is going to raise awareness, and it's going to increase the voters' knowledge on the issues that we stand on. However, it does minus a significant amount of stamina, as you can see. Look at this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stamina. So that is basically almost 2 ad campaigns that we can run whilst just doing one speech. So we are going to be talking about deficit reduction. The reason that I like deficit reduction is because it raises your Democrat appeal, it raises your Independent appeal, and it raises your Republican appeal. So it gives you sort of like a base layer that you can sort of rely on, so to speak. But I totally favor deficit reduction. It's also important to note that if you want to slander your opponent, which obviously we've not really gone for a build that allows us to do that, it'll say Ted Cruz opposes deficit reduction. Yeah, what an evil monster sort of thing, But we're just going to say Over the Potato supports deficit reduction. I think that is totally the way to go. Let us give the speech, and ding, 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 ding. Plus 3%. Fantastic. Great. We have now converted this into a state that we have a substantial lead in. So this state can be assumed to go ours unless Ted decides, good old Ted, that he wants to sort of invade and conquer us. So we've got one more stamina. Where do we want to go? I'm not entirely sure where we want to go. Let's go somewhere that's got a high amount of Electoral College votes. Ohio. Let's go to Ohio. The reason that I say Ohio is important, right? Is because for the last, like, I don't know, 40 years or whatever, Ohio has actually voted for the person that became president. So if we can win there, symbols. What am I talking about? Symbolically, I think that would mean quite something. It's also not a bad snag if you can get it. 18 Electoral College votes in the bag is not bad in the slightest. Yeah, basically we're gonna go to the next turn, and bada bim, bada boom. We are gonna see whatever the hell Ted Cruz wants to do. He's also in Ohio. Okay, so he is raising support for his dudes in Ohio, and he's also decided to compete with us, and he's building a Cruz election headquarters here. That's worrying. That is something that we really need to get on the ball. I'm not very worried about losing Florida to him because, it's our home state and we've sort of got a large amount of awareness which will translate into votes. But I am sort of worried about him just constantly targeting Democratic safe seats, because if he just wears down the majority and he makes it into a swing state, then it could go either way depending on the undecided people. But for example, Florida with 49% of the people voting Democrat, it's highly likely that it will be a Democratic victory. Could go otherwise, but it's probably going to be a Democratic victory. Okay, anyway, enough talking about Florida. We're in Ohio. First thing that we're going to do is we're going to build an HQ. Okay, so what this does, campaign headquarters give you cash, consulting office gives you operatives, and outreach center give you endorsements. We're going to talk about these two things very, very shortly indeed. What we are going to do, I think, is we're probably going to go for... a consulting office here so that I can talk a little bit about endorsements and spin doctors and stuff like that. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, let's go for an outreach office and talk a little bit about political capital. So if we go to special interest, right, we can see that there's two types of special interest ways that we can spend points, if that makes sense. We've got operatives and we've got endorsements, right? Operatives fine-tune your strategy by deploying political henchmen, and endorsements give you a huge nationwide bonuses on issue rating and awareness, right? It says it right there. I don't know why I'm reading it, just in case, I guess. So community outreach is how we win endorsements, and political capital is the way that we hire operatives. So, for example, we have 1 political capital. We need 5 political capital to get fixers, spin doctors. All of these guys do different things. For example, decreases your opponent's issue rating by 15% in a target state, right? A PR consultant, media bias, plus 10 points. All of this stuff, it just slightly, well, not slightly, but it tweaks your ability to win over the hearts and minds of the good American people. So it's interesting, but all of them cost way more than I can actually afford to do. But anyway, we're in Ohio. Let's take this opportunity to create an ad campaign. I know that, we are going to have a fair amount of ad campaigns on the go, but at the same time, that's fine. Let us go for a deficit reduction sort of message, I guess. I really do like the deficit reduction message. And while we've still got the opportunity, let's fly to... Where do we want to fly? I mean, these two states, Pennsylvania and West Virginia, they're both fairly secure for us right now. I guess we're going to fly to Kentucky, and then we are going to probably put out another ad. We're going to go for deficit reduction. I really can't get enough of deficit reduction. It's really very, very nice, and it's an issue that both people can get behind. Whoa, cowboy, whoa. An interview for Ted Cruz has appeared. Should we wish to go there, then we can see how the whole interview mechanic works. I think we'll probably go there very, very soon indeed. But for now, let's just think what we actually want to do. So Kentucky, we're winning now. Great. See that? It's as simple as that. It's as simple as just doing stuff like this just all over the country. North Carolina. Oh, that's a really good opportunity for some stuff to happen. Let's go over here. I feel like giving a speech. No, I feel like building a campaign HQ. That's what I really feel like doing. I really do feel like building a campaign HQ so that we can at least get some sort of money rolling. Important to note, by the way, that a campaign HQ actually does cost a significant amount of money and stamina to build. So, while it may be a great idea to do, it costs you money, and you only have a limited amount of money at the start of the game. We have 11,000 bucks that are our weekly income, but hey ho. we've got to go to the state of Wyoming. Okay, you know what? Is Wyoming, are we ever in with a chance of winning Wyoming? No, not at all. Should we go for the interview anyway? Hell yeah. I am down with this. Let's fucking do it. 60 seconds. You know what? Let's do it. It's the staple of evening television for decades. Okay, if you insist. Here we go. Here we go. Tonight, we have an in-depth report on the latest fears sweeping America. Trees. Every year, hundreds of people are killed by tree-related accidents. Are these leafy green gentle giants really that gentle? American farmers continue to have a hard time making ends meet. Do you feel that farm subsidies are a viable solution for their plight? Okay. American farmers continue to... Okay, that's the question. Oh, this is such a polarizing topic. Usually. You know what? I'm going to say... Okay, you know what? I'm going to respond with we may have to use subsidies to stay competitive. Yeah, you know what? I'm about that. Obamacare has been contentious ever since it was introduced. What is your stance on healthcare reform? Okay. Well, obviously, I'm a Democrat, so I'm not really... I'm in favor of Obamacare. You know what? I think I'm in favor of Obamacare. Role-playing in this thing, I'm going to be in favor of Obamacare. I think that is absolutely fine. We do have, you know, a time limit to respond, but hey-ho. Healthcare should be free, as should limbs. Okay, no healthcare for anyone. I'm in favor of Obamacare. I think that's a fairly standard response, you know. I mean, people seem to like us. The audience seem to be responding well, which is, you know, what matters. That's it for tonight. Tune in next week for our special 1-hour report on insect infestations in American households. Well, hey, I mean, why the hell are we sitting in the hole in a chair? Polls rise after appearance on 60 seconds. Don't mind if I do. Strangely, right, interviews don't cost stamina, which I think is very, very strange indeed. But alas, you know, what can you do? What can you do? Is there anywhere around here that we can really have an opportunity to campaign? Colorado actually is fairly swing. So let's go here and create an ad campaign and perhaps do... You know what? We could do a TV ad campaign. I mean, I know it's fairly early and the weekly expense is quite significant, but we could do something like that. Alternatively, building an HQ. Building an HQ is something that I am all about. Let's build a campaign HQ, and then we are also going to try and build a special interest manufacturing point thing somewhere else, because we're going to need a little bit more political capital if we want to stay on top of our opponent, who coincidentally is also doing his own stuff. What is this up here? Rhode Island, a political opportunity. You know what? Let's take that political opportunity. Let's take that political opportunity. You are flying all the way over. Oh my goodness, you are a devious little douchebag, aren't you? Not good. He's spending money like there is no tomorrow, I tell you, ladies and gents. He is aggressively spending money. Let's fly here. Okay, just by going here we raise awareness. That's important to note, by the way. I should have mentioned that. Let's build a campaign HQ over here, and then let us fly all the way over to Rhode Island. So quite literally a cross-country trip. I think that's kind of cool, isn't it? Yeah, you know, I don't think that's too unimpressive. Hollywood friend, taking a quick breather from the spotlight of Hollywood stardom, a critically acclaimed movie star has scheduled the next several weeks to endorse presidential candidate Orbital Potato. Ah, this is great. This is great. This is really, really fantastic. I am very, very happy with this. So, now we've got our Hollywood friend raises your awareness in state by 3% per week. Is there anywhere that we want to stick this dude that will help us out? Potentially in a state that is going to be harder to win and keep control of. For example, I think Arizona is the perfect example because we're not in the lead at the moment in Arizona, but we could be if we just had more awareness actually raised. So, you know, this guy's also from Hollywood, which is next door in California, so fingers crossed that makes a difference. Nevada is also a fairly juicy target, but it seems that most of the political activity, should I say, and most of the candidates, most of us, that's what I was sort of trying to go for, we're concentrating on the East Coast rather than the West Coast. That's fine. Let's head over to Virginia, and we'll see what's going on here. Now, this is close. This is very, very close, which is why I am going to deploy a ground sort of campaign saying, I favor deficit reduction. Yeah, great. You know, deficit reduction, one of those policies that you can just shout from the rooftops and everybody can hear you and they can be like, wow, that's a really great idea. But it doesn't really mean anything. Let's face it, it really doesn't mean very much. Also, let's head over here in anticipation for the next turn, where we're going to build... What do we want to do? You know, let's build some stuff here. Let's build an outreach center over here. Outreach center, 1 PR clout per week. Yeah, slight state awareness bonus. In fact, maybe not here. Maybe we want to build it somewhere that's a little bit more profitable for us. Also, mostly up in the top right-hand corner of America, you know, these guys tend to vote Democrat up here. So, yeah, we're not too worried about this area up here, but could go bad. Could go bad. It looks like we're not doing badly. Okay, here we definitely need something. We definitely need something. Let's build an HQ. Let's build an outreach center so that we can get that PR clout per week. But more importantly, that state awareness bonus. That's very, very important. And let's also give a speech. You know, let's give a speech. Awareness is always very, very good. Exactly. See, there we go. Characteristics bonus is helping us improve the ability to make speeches. We are really fucking good at making speeches. That's why we're getting the 30% bonus, because of our charisma. Yeah, that's basically how we roll. 4%. That's not bad. You know, we've just effectively taken this state from a state that we weren't going to win to a state that we now are probably going to win, should we continue in this game, which is going to have to come to an end fairly soon, because this is just a little let's look at and a look at the gameplay. But holy cow, I am going to play the absolute crap out of this game on my channel, without a shadow of a doubt. We've actually got 5 political capital to spend now, so let's go ahead and look at what we can do with hiring the operatives and whatnot. So, is there something that we really want to do? I would love to take Texas. Right? I would love to take Texas off the hands of Ted Cruz. It's going to be a really difficult fight, and I don't think I can actually do it, but you know what? Let's be bold. Let's be bold. Let's be bold. Okay? Let's be really, really bold. Let's see what we can do to damage Ted Cruz in his home state. So, what do we want to do? Eliminate targeted operatives, disappears on use. We don't need that. A spin doctor. I don't really want to do that. A smear merchant decreases opponents' issue rating by 15% in the target state, lowers opponents' awareness by 4% a week. I think an intimidator might be what we're up against. Might be what we want, actually. Appearance, a fashion consultant. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about fashion. Decrease your advertising maintenance cost in targeted state by 75%. That would be good if we had a TV ad campaign, but we don't really have enough to warrant getting we're fine for money. That's what I'm trying to say. Raise your awareness by 4% in a target state. You know what? Since we're sort of role playing as a nice goody sort of people, let's take this and let's oh shit, I put it up in this state. Fuck, I forgot to move my character. Well, actually, whatever. You know, doing it in North Dakota is not actually the dumbest thing in the world, and actually that's probably a better move. As much as I hate to say, it's probably a better move to put a consultant in North Dakota, considering we're never fucking gonna win Texas anyway. Yeah, a bit dodgy, hey-ho. Anyway, we get a weekly news wrap-up, so we get to have a look at all of the headlines that we have been involved in, and that good old Ted has been involved in. And yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. You can choose to untick it, by the way, in case that's what you want. Yeah, look, not a capital P. Not a capital P. Presidential candidate Potato takes an early lead, bolting like a hungry cougar out of the starting gates. I hope they don't mean cougar in this sort of older woman sense. In which case, I'm in. No, I joke. Anyway, Oda Potato has taken an early lead in the polls, leaving opponent Ted Cruz several steps behind. However, experts are quick to urge Potato not to get too cocky. Don't dismiss Cruz yet, one pundit noted. With both candidates just getting started, it's much too early to predict a winner. At the Potato camp, staff members are thrilled with the early results. Cruz can kiss my Democrat butt, one intoxicated staff member exclaimed during a campaign party. Bit early for a party, guys. Calm it down a notch. In my eyes, he's already lost. Like I've been saying, you just don't mess with President 2B Orbital Potato. That's right. And I think, on that note, we are going to wrap up. This little introduction sort of to the gameplay. If you're interested in this sort of thing, if you're interested in me, not talking politics, but trying to sort of understand a little bit of stuff about political-ish games, because I played Democracy 3 as well. That's one of my favorite games. Yeah, if you're interested in sort of doing that, then by all means, give this video a like and subscribe to the channel, because I would very, very much appreciate it. So yeah, this has been the Political Machine 2016. 2016, man, 2016. But yeah, tune in next time for some more of this, because this is not going to stop. This is going to continue for a long time. Well, maybe not a long time, but it's going to continue. That is for darn sure. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very, very much for watching. My name, of course, has been Orbital Potato. This has been the Political Machine 2016, and I'll see you next time. Bye.